Time is the currency of life. But let me tell you something you might not want to hear. Just because you show up doesn't mean you deserve to get paid. You see, the marketplace doesn't reward time. It rewards value. If time was the true measure of wealth, every person working 9 to 5 would be rich. But that's not how it works. The world pays you for what you bring to the table, not how long you sit at it. This talk is about bridging the gap between time and transformation, about shifting your focus from clocking in to leveling up. What are you becoming? What are you contributing? Because until your value increases, your income won't. I'll break down how to build skills that pay, how to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and how to go from minimum wage thinking to maximum impact living. If you're tired of trading time for money, this is your wake-up call. It's time to stop watching the clock and start increasing your value. Let's begin with something bold, something true, something that, if understood deeply, can change the trajectory of your life forever. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for your value. Now, that may sound simple. It may even sound cliche, but most people still don't get it. They wake up each day, clock in and clock out, thinking that just being there is the job, that hours equal income, that being busy equals productivity. But nothing could be further from the truth. Because time is the same for everyone, but value is not. We all get 24 hours in a day. That's one of the few things that's fair in this world. Rich or poor, young or old, famous or unknown, everyone starts the day with the same amount of time. But why does one person make $10 an hour while another earns $10,000 a day? Why does one person struggle while another one thrives? It's not the time. It's what they did with it. It's what they became during it. Let me tell you a little story. Years ago, I worked as a stock clerk. I stacked shelves, moved boxes, did my job. I worked hard. I was proud of it. But one day I asked myself, if I work twice as long, will I earn twice as much? The answer, no. Not unless I brought more to the table. Not unless I improved what I knew, how I served, the results I could create. That was the moment everything changed. I realized the marketplace doesn't reward time. It rewards value. And value, my friend, is something you build, something you grow, something you sculpt like a masterpiece. You build value by becoming a person of substance, a person of depth, a person who doesn't just show up, but shows up equipped, prepared, exceptional. Let me ask you, who are you becoming? Not what do you do? Not what's your title? Who are you becoming? Because that's where the real money is. That's where the real fulfillment is. That's where the admiration, the influence, the life-changing results live, in who you become. And becoming someone of value is a decision. It's a daily decision, and it's waking up and saying, today I'm going to be worth more than I was yesterday. It's not about working longer. It's about becoming smarter, more skilled, more valuable. You want to raise your income? Don't demand a raise. Deserve one? You want to be promoted? Don't wait for a title. Earn one. You want to be respected? Don't ask for it. Become the kind of person who commands it by their presence. See, value is magnetic. People are drawn to it. Employers want it. Customers chase it. The world opens up for it. But here's the secret. Value doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up quietly in the way you carry yourself, in the discipline in your calendar, in the way you speak, clearly, confidently, with intention, in the results you deliver, early, consistently, above standard. And yes, it shows up in your character. You want to increase your value? Start keeping promises to yourself. Start finishing what you start. Start reading books that stretch you. Start developing skills that the world pays well for. The marketplace doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about what you actually bring to the table. You can complain about what you're not getting, or you can raise what you're giving. I always tell people, don't ask for more than you become. If you want $1 million income, you've got to develop $1 million mindset, $1 million work ethic, and $1 million ability to create results. Because the value you bring will always match what you attract. If you're attracting mediocre results, chances are you've been offering mediocre value. And that's not an insult. It's an invitation to rise, to elevate, to demand more from yourself. Let me be clear. You don't need permission to become valuable. You don't need someone to give you a shot. You need to give yourself a shot. You need to get serious, get focused, get disciplined. You need to study. You need to prepare. You need to treat your life like it matters, because it does. Because value is not just about money. Value is about options. It's about freedom. It's about becoming the kind of person who isn't trapped by circumstance, because they've trained, disciplined, and developed themselves to create opportunity wherever they go. The world pays well for leadership, for creativity, for resourcefulness, for courage, for clarity, for consistency. These are all things you can build if you care enough. If you stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. You don't get paid for time, you get paid for value. So today, ask yourself not how long did I work, but how much did I grow? Did you read? Did you study your craft? Did you challenge yourself? Did you follow through on what you said you would do? Did you push 1 inch closer to being irreplaceable? Because that's what value is. It's being so good they can't ignore you. So valuable they don't want to lose you. So skilled, so focused, so reliable that your presence becomes an asset in any room you walk into. You don't need to do everything overnight, but start somewhere. Study for 30 minutes a day. Wake up an hour earlier. Say yes to challenges that scare you. Say no to distractions that waste you. Set a higher standard for yourself, then meet it. You'll be amazed how quickly things begin to shift when you focus on value instead of time. And let me say this loud, don't wait to become valuable. Become valuable now, today, in the small things, in the way you show up, in how you shake someone's hand, in how you prepare, in how you respond under pressure. Because every bit of value you build in silence will eventually be rewarded in public. That's how the world works. It's not fair, it's not easy, but it's predictable. So if you want more, become more. You don't get paid for time, you get paid for value. Now go out there and build it. Let's continue, because if there's one truth that's worth repeating, it's this. You don't get paid for time, you get paid for value. Now maybe you've heard it before. Maybe you nodded your head, wrote it down in your notebook, maybe even shared it on social media. But the question is, did it change how you operate? Because wisdom that sits on a shelf doesn't build wealth. Knowledge without execution is a recipe for regret. And I want more for you than that. I want you to wake up every morning with clarity, with fire, with a clear understanding that today is not about filling hours. Today is about delivering value. Because life doesn't reward the man who simply shows up. Life rewards the man who shows up different, who shows up sharper, who shows up ready to contribute. The man who walks in not asking, what do I get? But declaring, here's what I bring. That shift, my friend, will change your life. See, a paycheck is not a prize. A paycheck is a mirror. It reflects what the market believes your value is worth, not what you're capable of, not what you hope for, but what you consistently deliver. And if the reflection doesn't look the way you want, don't smash the mirror. Build the value. You've got to become the kind of person the world cannot ignore. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens by decision. And here's the decision. From this day forward, I will stop measuring my life in time, and I will start measuring it in value. Because time is a limited currency. It disappears whether you use it or not. But value, that's renewable. That's exponential. That grows as you grow. The real winners in life are not the ones who had more hours. It's the ones who became worth more in every hour. You want to elevate your life? Then elevate your standards. Elevate your inputs. Elevate your effort. Let's go deeper. There are 3 questions you need to be asking every single day. 1. What am I doing today to increase my skill? Skill is the bridge between potential and reality. You can be gifted, you can be passionate, but if you're not skillful, the world won't pay you what you're worth. So develop the skill, practice the skill, master the craft. You don't get paid for intentions, you get paid for execution. 2. What problems am I solving? The marketplace is a sea of problems. People looking for answers, looking for guidance, looking for someone to fix what they can't. Become that someone. Because the bigger the problem you can solve, the more people will line up to pay you. It's that simple. The difference between a $15 per hour job and a $500 per hour solution? Value. Solve small problems, live a small life. Solve big problems, live a big life. 3. How consistent am I being with my value delivery? You don't get ahead by doing it once. You get ahead by doing it every day. You don't get ripped from one workout. You don't become wise from one book. You don't become valuable from one act. It's the daily repetition, the quiet days, the boring grind, the early mornings, the late nights. That's where value is built. You have to become the kind of person who delivers on days you don't feel like it. That's when the value becomes part of your identity, not just your effort. It's not about who works the longest. It's about who works the smartest, who thinks sharper, who executes better. And I'll tell you this, your value will never rise higher than your personal philosophy. If you think like the average, act like the average, you'll live like the average. So raise your thinking, expand your beliefs, upgrade your inner world, and the outer world will respond. Now here's something nobody tells you. You can't fake value. You can fake confidence. You can fake enthusiasm. But the world has a way of testing what's real. And when pressure hits, and it always does, only real value holds. That's why I say, don't chase opportunity, chase development. Because when you develop yourself, opportunity starts chasing you. When you're valuable, people find you. They talk about you when you're not in the room. They recommend you. They trust you. And that trust, that's currency. You don't need everyone. You just need a few people who see your value, and they'll open doors you never knew existed. But those people don't show up for the man who's kind of interested. They show up for the man who's all in. So if you're serious, if you're truly hungry to shift your income, your impact, your life, then make it your mission to become irreplaceable. That's the goal, to become so valuable that people feel your absence. And think about that. When you're gone, does anything change? Do people notice? If the answer is no, you've got work to do. And that work begins with honesty, with facing the brutal truth that your results are not random. They're a reflection of the value you've produced. Now that might sting, but it's also freeing, because if you built your current results, you can build better ones. You're not stuck. You're simply unupgraded. And upgrades are free, but they're earned through discipline, through self-education, through showing up every day, not asking what's easy, but asking what adds value. When you live that way, the results take care of themselves. Let me remind you again, people don't pay for time. They pay for value. Time is a constant. Value is the variable. Become the variable. Be the multiplier. Be the person who raises the temperature in the room, who delivers more than expected, who carries excellence like it's their name. When you do that, money shows up, respect shows up, freedom shows up, not because you asked, but because you earned. And maybe right now you're not where you want to be. That's fine, but don't stay there. Building, learn, push. Every single day is a brick. Stack them with purpose. Stack them with fire. Because the foundation you're laying today will decide the altitude you can reach tomorrow. And remember, time doesn't make you valuable. What you do with your time does. So do more than exist. Produce, grow, contribute. Make your hours matter. Make your life count. Because the man who brings value is never broke for long. He's never lost for long. He's never ignored for long. He becomes a magnet, a force, a standard. And you can become that man. But it starts with a choice. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now, no more hiding behind effort. No more confusing activity with achievement. From here forward, every hour is a chance to deliver, to create, to become more. And when that's your focus, value becomes who you are. And when value becomes who you are, everything changes. Everything.